G'day crew, welcome to GOAT Fantasy. It's the Match Sim Updates edition. Great to have your company as always. GOAT Fantasy brought to you by checkmyrate.au. Visit the website. It's free to use. Take control of your financial future. You need to work out if you're getting the best deal on your home loan, and with rates about to rise, I'd say this is getting even more important. So if you want to reach out to Brandon personally, you can do that. Just get in touch with us here at GOAT Fantasy and we can set that up for you. I promise you will save money with Brandon and the team at checkmyrate.au. I'm just going to check this microphone to make sure it's not too loud. Okay, so with so much going on, I just wanted to do a quick update podcast and go around the grounds for you because there just is a lot happening. So North Melbourne yesterday did a match sim, and there's some players on our radar at North. I think in particular Harry Sheasel, so it's just worth discussing his role. He absolutely dominated yesterday. There's this great video on socials where it has some highlights of the way that Sheasel's playing. So he started at half forward a few times and then had a lot of CTA. So this is what we expect from the Sheasel role. Just because he starts at half forward doesn't mean he's not going to be involved in the play. So yeah, he's doing the role that we want. I just think let's not go over the top, because if he's dominating North Melbourne match sim, I don't think that should be a surprise to us. That should be the expectation. But certainly he's doing all the right things if we are going to pick him as our F1. McKercher had been training with the mids through the pre-season, and I think that had just raised a couple of eyes, but he played halfback in the match sim yesterday, so I think the role is locked on, and to be honest, that to me is probably enough to pick him. And then Riley Hardiman was really good as well, getting a bit more ball in his hands. Of course, both teams need a halfback distributor in a match sim, so we'll get a better idea of his ceiling and his potential once we see them play against opposition, but probably more of a draft one, a late stash in a deep league, to be honest, or someone you'd keep in Dynasty. And then Charlie Comben spoke afterwards and actually praised Caleb Daniel. He's the curveball in all this. He's the one that's going to stop McKercher having a massive ceiling or stop Hardiman being a guy that we can pick. So if Caleb's in the team, then that's the handbrake to all of this when it comes to the North Melbourne defensive guys. So just wanted to touch on Essendon. I haven't been able to get to them talking about their match sim recently, but Nate Caddy was best on for them. Looks like he could be set for a third year breakout, particularly, if Peter Wright and Kyle Langford can take the better defenders away from him. And then the midfielders were all massive. So it's not a surprise to hear that Zach Merritt's going well, or Jai Caldwell, or Sam Durham, but it's Darcy Parish that we're interested in. And he, right now, is making every post a winner and looks like a guy who could perform well above what he's priced at in salary cap format. From a Bulldogs perspective, Sam Darcy dominating up forward, kicking lots of goals. Supercoach draft, feels like he's your guy, and also draft in AFL Fantasy because he's going to be kicking goals more often than not. He's potentially going to win. A Coleman for the first time in his career. He could be relatively reliable, particularly if he gets some ruck minutes and takes some ball around the ground. Joel Frazier playing through the midfield, he's not necessarily going to be first picked in that area, but they know that he can go through there. He's only going to get better. He's available as a forward. Lockie Jakes, the youngster to look for potentially as a guy who might be able to fill out our bench. At the Tigers, Sam Grill impressing at half-back. Sam Cummings, the wild card, I'm not 100% sure where he's going to land. And then Sam Lawler, midfield minutes, almost, we're going to be brave if we're going to start with Lawler, but it's a pick that I'm definitely warming to, and I'm going to get a look at the Tigers hopefully Friday morning and see how Lawler's looking. Went to the Demons as well. So Christian Salem in the rehab group looks like he's done a hamstring. Viney slow and steady in his return, and then when they did match sim, the midfielders that we saw. Kasai Pickett, which is not a surprise. Sparrow, Rivers, who we like, Langford. Tolstrup was like half forward and rolling up and getting around the ball. And then Caleb Windsor was the surprise that we saw, getting some inside time as well as on the wing. You just have to remember they've got a few guys out in the rehab group. But there is points on offer with no Petrarca and no Oliver. We know that. And just from a Pies perspective, really quickly, I just think Jordan De Goey is looking the best that he has since the Pies won the flag. Like, he looks fit, new dad, new responsibilities, new Jordan. If he's over all those injury concerns, he's going to perform above the level available as a forward. A draft one for you. Pendlebury is playing some halfback, but as we've seen in the past with the Pies, he doesn't always stay there. So he might pick up defender status early in the season and then go back to playing a midfielder. Maybe a good one for draft. Josh Dacos certainly playing halfback, but also they're folding him in through the midfield. And then Houston didn't train when I was at the club, so I wasn't able to get a look at him. But of course, he's a bounce back candidate as well. All right, quick wrap for you. I'll be at the Tigers tomorrow. But yeah, plenty of content still coming your way on Goat Fantasy. I'm going to catch up with the DT Talk boys as well. So there'll be some content floating around. Thanks for checking in. We'll chat soon on Goat Fantasy.